but I think it added up that we'd sold 30 packages. I would say probably sold 50, but some people haven't been able to come. So that each package was 2 nights, our basic package, and then we had some add-ons, 3-night packages. But I think all in all, it came to about 27,000 that we had made. That that was exciting.
Yeah,
and
those are awesome results. I mean, awesome results considering you're dealing with a domestic market. You're at the bottom of New Zealand. We had lockdowns. Your biggest market was in lockdown for a long time, Auckland. Hi, Hannah. Thanks for taking some time today. And I'd love to chat to you about your experience of working with me and the stuff that we've done together. So could you just introduce yourself and what you do?
Hi, Damien. I'm Hannah. So I run a boutique down in Tiana, Finland. 4 suites, and we sit between the mid to luxury price bracket. And we've been running 15 years, and I've been here for 3.5 years.
Nice. And a big love of showing people Tiana and Fiordland.
Yeah, no, we're passionate about it, and we want everyone that comes here to have the best experience they can in Tiana and Fiordland. Like other places in New Zealand, definitely been struggling due to our remote location post-COVID. So anyone that visits, we want them to have the best experience while they're here and get other people down.
So on that note, when you came to me, which was last year, you came to me last year, what was the situation you were in? What problem were you facing?
I think we were in a similar situation to a lot of tourism operators around the country. We were almost 100% international. So we had kind of flipped and retargeting the domestic market, which we still had travellers coming through, but there just wasn't the numbers to go around all the accommodation in Tiana. We knew that we had good, nice luxury accommodation, but we just hadn't quite, because we're so small, put ourselves out there.
And I think you said you'd kind of felt like, being that one person operation, you felt a bit vulnerable and like people might take advantage of you, a bigger business.
Yeah, because we didn't do a lot of advertising in the past. We didn't have to, because we had those relationships with the agencies. We did the work, though. Definitely, once we had to start advertising, it was probably a little bit naive, I suppose, about everything. And my skills were quite stretched across the board. So it was just myself. So I was doing everything. And I was a bit COVID fatigued, to be honest, and going through all the other funding processes. And I did feel that sometimes we got this money given to us and it kind of just disappeared.
No, I remember you telling me about that you kind of had this money, but you're not sure where it had gone or what it had achieved.
Yeah.
And that must have felt quite frustrating as an owner-operator.
And there was a lot of resources out there and free online tutoring and things like that. But it took a lot of time, and was trying to upskill myself, but, that time was stretched between other things. So I kind of wanted to work on something and, see it through and get some bookings, really.
Exactly. You want to put the effort into things that are going to get you the best return, right? So 3 parts of my system have made the greatest impact for you.
I think, we went through the whole process of going through what the business was and you understanding where I was coming from and Fiordland itself and what we offer. And I think you made it quite simple, like a simple process. So I had done some packages in the past, and they were great packages. If anyone had booked them, they would have got a lot for their money type things. But you definitely helped pick out some some key experiences in the area and just focus on those.
Selling experiences, not rooms, right, Hannah?
Yeah, exactly. And you kind of turned Airbnb, we made that part of the experience as well, which was quite nice. So we put the ads together on Facebook, and I did quite like how you did the copyright and how you sort of laid it out. It was quite simple and punchy. And I said to you that I always got a bit nervous about overselling myself. I think it's just sort of a Kiwi way.
Yeah.
Go for the luxury accommodation, which we are.
Well, I think even just the difference between you saying that now, like you say that with a lot more confidence now that you are a luxury accommodation, and you have got a lot of people through, and Kiwi getting that domestic market through, I think has given you that confidence as well, because you were, unsure how to promote yourself and everyone's discounting. And I feel like now you can really back yourself and say, no, we do offer really great accommodation. We help people, we connect them, and you're getting great reviews and great feedback.
Yeah. And there's only so many, like our accommodation's nice, well presented and appointed, but it's quite simple. So there was only so many things, pictures that I could take of around the place to sell it. So, going through the process of the funnel on Facebook. So I had done a little bit of online training doing Facebook ads and stuff. So I had some idea, but honestly, when I went to do them, I thought, oh yeah, I know how to do it. Got to do it, and it just took me hours, and I get so frustrated. And
yeah, so working with me every week and creating those ads, building out that funnel, really helps you get it out into the world, but keep up that momentum, right?
Yeah, and I think just those regular kind of catch-ups, and it's kind of exciting to see, what was happening, and you kind of felt like you were involved in it and had some control, even though you were controlling most of the button.
Yeah,
you did feel like you had an input.
Yeah, well, I think you were really good to work with as well, because you were paying attention to what people were saying. Trying to give me as much intel as possible. We added other packages, and I loved getting, your messages through saying we've sold one, which made it really, really fun to work with you too.
Yeah, no, it was cool. And because I'm here on my own, like I don't have like a team to like share those kind of things with.
So Hannah, what specific results can you share with us?
So I did a bit of a tally up last night, last minute, of course. But I had been saying, I was like, oh, we're kind of getting one booking in a week. We started last year, but it's been a challenging year because, COVID's changed so much that year, and we couldn't have predicted that. But I think it added up that we'd sold 30 packages, the 60 nights of accommodation from the 2-night packages, and then the additional kind of upgrades to her Milford and Doubtful package, and then we had an existing package that was already priced, and we had some bookings for that as well, slightly bigger package, so that they stemmed all from that advertising. So that was exciting.
Yeah,
and
those are awesome results. I mean, awesome results considering you're dealing with a domestic market. You're at the bottom of New Zealand. We had lockdowns. Your biggest market was in lockdown for a long time, Auckland.
One thing I did notice, because I've bookings through other, I won't say them, booking platforms, online ones, the popular, they all just book and it comes into your system and you don't hear a lot from them. But with the packages, people would email us and there was a bit of communication going back and forth. So we did find that the people that booked the packages didn't cancel as quickly, whereas the other ones just kind of fell off the radar.
Yeah, right. So people on the OTAs weren't as invested, whereas the people that had the direct bookings and booked an experience, they had communication with you, they were much more invested and were moving their bookings out to when they could travel.
Yeah. I mean, you always lose a few, but most of them, they're pretty good.
I mean, that's really good feedback too, right? Because I guess, when you've got someone else in between you and your customer, they're like, it's just a booking.com free cancellation thing. Cancel, super easy. It's done. I've cancelled it. But quite different if they've been talking to Hannah and
I think that's
excited about their trip.
Kind of just the fact that you're sort of managing like a little holiday experience for them. They might be doing other stuff, but you're booking these little excursions for them. It's all under one umbrella, so they feel like that you take responsibility for it, I guess, which makes it easier on them. Yeah, so it was about 27,000 all up, and we can kind of break it down. But
that's awesome. How much of a difference did that make to you? How much did $27,000, much difference did that make to your business?
Well, a huge difference. Like, we needed to make that money. It wasn't, it wasn't just profit. How
did that affect your business, getting that extra cash?
Well, it made a huge difference because honestly, we needed the extra cash to survive, really. So, $27,000 is, it helps pay bills pretty much. Yeah, it's not extra fun money at the moment. It's it's helping us survive. That's the main aim, really.
So there was a couple of other things like side benefits that you had. Could you talk about those? People stayed longer, you got better guests.
Yeah, so some of the side benefits, the previous year, we're still in the survival mode. So we did a lot of discounted OTA rooms, and we did get bookings, but the quality of guests was slightly different. So people just coming in, using the place. They're mostly nice, but they were more like one night stays. And for myself, we haven't employed staff, so it made it a lot easier for cleaning and like that. So a bit more manageable. And also I knew what people were doing when they're going on the experiences. So it was good. And just longer stays as well. So nights, but quite often people added on a night or.
So we were able to stop your discounting, bring in a minimum of 2 nights, and that just naturally attracted better people that stayed longer and were better guests. Yeah,
and they were wanting to come and do that. And I think one of the nicest things that made me happy was that there were people coming to Tiana or Flippin that hadn't already decided that they were going. That helped you. Not just myself, but all the as well, because the more people we can really get to come here, the better it is for.
Yeah, nice. So you actually brought people to your region and helped out other businesses as well. Yeah, that's amazing considering, how hard it has been for people to get people down to where you are. You've talked a little bit about this, but how did it feel to get those results and get some of those first bookings come through?
It was pretty exciting because it was almost immediate. Like, you could see a few interactions on social media, and we started in emails. In times that actually every booking is exciting at the moment. So
every new booking, yeah.
I mean, before it was just like, a few years back, it's just like, the rooms are, they're just pulling up, and there's a spare room here or there. But now it's like,
exciting. Because I think even, I was stuck here up in Auckland in lockdown, like a million other Aucklanders, and you were still getting bookings, weren't you, from people that were outside Auckland? And I thought that was amazing, that you were attracting people amongst a lot of different accommodation providers, a lot of regions they could go to, but people were we were giving people an idea to come to Tiana to explore Fiordland, and you were getting some of those bookings. That's what made me really happy, trapped up here in Auckland. You invested in me, but did you almost not sign up? You'd been disappointed by other people. What was going through your mind?
Because I was a little bit nervous about money. I was a bit nervous about things, but I think I was just at the point that, yeah, we had nothing to lose really. I've been to your seminar and then I've seen your advertising. From that I'd obviously clicked on something. So I could see that was working. I was getting it all the time. So I was like, how about we do this for Dunluce?
You could see I knew how to do my own advertising. That's
yeah,
good.
and you seem quite switched on and like aware of what was happening in the market for small business stuff.
What was your favourite part of the process of working with me, or your biggest learning?
Oh, the favourite part was when we got the first two books. But I think it was just getting it all together. So I quite often think I have amazing ideas. I don't know if they are, but like you weren't able to like get it together and actually make it happen. But yeah, honestly, just getting the ads up with like videos and words, and yeah, that was quite exciting.
And getting all the, I mean, you got like immediate engagement, didn't you? You got comments and likes, and that was quite exciting as well.
Yeah, like in the lockdown, there's so many people commenting and writing nice things, and yeah, that all helps.
So Hannah, who would you recommend my program to and why?
Well, anyone like myself, if you're just needing a bit of ease or advice or someone to handle what. And if you're wanting to work more one-on-one and be involved in the process, yeah, it's definitely different compared to working with marketing agency. Yeah, so I think if you're just unsure about like how to sell an experience, what you can offer someone, going through that process helps you come to see to realise that sometimes you already have everything and you can offer it.
Quite often I think people have everything. They just need to flip it around and lead with that experience and, be confident, stop the discounting and just tell more people about it.
Yeah.
How do you think this is going to help you in the future?
Well, it's been quite a good base because we've sort of gone through that process of who our audiences offer. So I can always go back to that. And from my perspective, as the borders are opening, we are starting to get the old customers that we used to have. But it always was a vision. We used to close in winter, but it was always a bit of a vision like, can we open a bit longer? China's quite seasonal. So I can see using something like this would be a good platform to go ahead and make up some other projects. And we'll probably do that, package up a little bit to suit the season.
Yeah.
So we've kind of got the base model there now.
Yeah. So we're going to keep building on it, aren't we, Hannah? Because what's next? What's the next thing we're doing?
So we've got some photos coming up, and we'll introduce that in our next package or throughout the website. Right, so that gives us some good resources. I'm going to do Milford sound experience, keep it quite simple. We aimed at Australians or the domestic market as well. Winter experience going on.
Yeah. Start getting some Aussies through the door. Well, that's been really great, Hannah. Is there anything else to add before we wrap up?
That was a spot. No, I think it's been a great process. I've quite enjoyed doing it and being a part of it. And yeah, in the end, the results spoken for themselves. Some expense, but cash flow.
Yeah. Some expense, but a good return on investment and setting up for the future and keeping you going through that tough patch.
But it easily spent it with that or what everyone else is doing. So.
You could have easily spent it on what everyone else is doing, did you say?
yeah, Google Ads and yeah, but we kind of needed the results.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's it, Hannah.
Okay.
We're all done. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Oh, is that nice? Did you see the nice review at the bottom?
Yeah, that's a fantastic review, isn't it? Where someone's saying, yeah, they loved your gorgeous B&B and they loved the view and doing the package. Probably the best holiday experience we've ever had. That was awesome.